Good morning. It is Monday, June 17th, and this is the Monday News Brief. Golfers rejoice. The Chamberlain Country Club is open for business after the recent flooding. We sit down with Shawn to discuss what's open and what's available at the golf course. Chamberlain Mayor Chad Mutziger also stops by to give us a little bit of information on what the city does to prepare for floods and what we can expect in the near future. And finally, we sit down again with Rec Man LaMie to talk about what's going on in the Chamberlain Recreation Department this week, as well as chat a little bit about the NBA Finals and my pick, the Toronto Raptors. Let's get to it. Good morning, everybody. We're here with Shawn, the course manager at the Chamberlain Country Club, just bringing you an update on the status of the course. So after all the flooding, how are we doing, Shawn?
We're doing good. A lot of the cleanup is done. We dried out nicely. We're trying to get things back rolling. Planning and waiting for the design of a new bridge to get us 100% open. And as soon as we get that going, we'll be back to golfing. So
awesome. And right now you guys are open from, there's 5 holes open, correct?
5 holes, correct. Yes.
Okay. And it's basically, I believe it's 1 through 3 and 8 and 9 also.
Yes, it is.
Yep, so if you're still interested in getting out and golfing, holes 1 through 3, 8 and 9 are open right now, so you can still come out. And the clubhouse is also open every day as well, correct?
Yes, it is. We're serving meals, serving beverages, whatever you want. Come on over to the clubhouse.
Perfect. So in the meantime, I know a lot of league golfers are probably interested and curious in what's going on. What's the status on league for now?
League, we're not actually having league. We're still trying to play on men's night and ladies' night. And like I said, as soon as we get the bridge in, we're going to be back open and leagues will be rolling. So we're just kind of waiting on the bridge.
Perfect. Tournaments coming up?
We have postponed a few tournaments to later in the season until we are 100% operational. It's just a little tough having a tournament with just 5 holes open. So,
right.
You know, we're not canceling yet. We're just postponing, and as soon as we know them dates, we'll get those out.
Another thing people are probably wondering about, the driving range, that's open?
Yes, it is. The driving range is 100% operational. We're sending bags of balls out every day, so if you just want to come swing the club, head over the range and hit some balls.
So if people are interested in getting updates on the country club and what's going on out here, where can they find that?
We have a phone number here. The clubhouse is 234-4451. We also have a website, Chamberlain Country Club, and a Facebook page under Chamberlain Country Club. So several places to get some information.
Awesome. And be sure to check the links below in the descriptions. We'll be sure to put that information there. Shawn, that was it, man. You're number 1 on the morning news brief this morning.
All
so
right. Well, thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Yes.
We're here with Mayor Chad Mutziger of Chamberlain to talk about some of the updates on the flooding happening this spring. Chad, thanks for taking the time first.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing this. And, you know, flooding is on the top of everybody's mind right now, whether it be in town or our ag sector out of town. And,
right.
And it's been a tough spring for all of us, and so yeah, it's a big topic.
Mm-hmm. So let's just back up to before the rain happened and the flooding came in. How do you prepare for something like this?
You know, I don't know if you can ever prepare for it, and that's the hard part. You know, we're somewhat at the mercy of the Corps of Engineers. And the river levels and what they give us. And Greg Powell, our city engineer, does a great job of staying in contact with the Corps. And we understand that the Corps has a very tough job trying to make predictions. And a lot comes with how much rain everybody's getting and the snow melt and all of that go into this factor. Mm-hmm. And so you do your best to prepare. And we had taken several steps to stay ahead of this, the flooding. And unfortunately, when push came to shove and the water kept coming and we got some more rains, and it just got to a point where all of the preparation, we had to reallocate the preparation from the campground over to the Smoking Mule in that
right.
area to save that. And so it's tough to prepare for something like that.
Right. Also talking about preparation, getting resources, just getting sandbags here and organizing, your employees, the city employees, yep. volunteers. Yep. Can you shed a little bit of light on how that works?
It's, as they say, it takes a village to raise a family, and we're darn proud of this community, the way they always pull together, you know. Well, let's start with the city employees. Mm-hmm. We have a dedicated, you know, the people of Chamberlain should be very proud of the employees that we have at the city, because they're a group of people that work hard. They put in hours, you know. I mean, they're in at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they were in at 2 o'clock in the morning getting things ready for sandbagging and stuff like that, and getting resources together, and so on and so forth, and working late hours. And then you have people like, we work with Catherine Benton at the Rural County Emergency Manager. She great resource for us to help get sandbags and so on and so forth. You know, and then you talk about their volunteers. And people that just showed up, they just came, and you know, it was simply a few Facebook posts and social media posts that went out, and you know, at times I think we almost had more volunteers than what we really needed, but we'd find a place for them, and that's a darn good problem to have.
Right.
And that speaks volumes for the people that live in Chamberlain, Oklahoma, and in the rural areas around here. So, and then coordinating all of that, you know, it's a fine dance that's done, and you know, I'm proud to announce that nobody got ran over by all the bobcats that were running around. You know, it seems like a busy hive of bees running around with machinery and stuff like that, but you know, we do it the safest way we can, but also as fast as we can get it done. So.
Absolutely. And I know you mentioned Greg was talking with some of the government and the Corps of Engineers. Have you been in on any of those conversations? And do you know how that works?
So, you know, and the Corps they have a weekly and sometimes more often even update calls that you can get on, and you know, of course, then there's your daily information that they put out on the website.
Right.
You know, so, but once again, as I said, you know, we work with them the best that we can, but we're also cautiously optimistic and hope that their projections are right. You know, and one thing that a lot of people, myself included, didn't know until the last couple of years is when they give a projection for our area, they'll say it's like, let's say, for example, right now they said it would cap out, it would crest at 1371.
Okay.
Now you have to add about a foot to a foot and a half in Chamberlain, because that's 1371 down at the dam. And we seem to be about a foot to foot and a half higher than that. So really we were at about 1372,
okay.
72 and a half here.
So they're talking about between Big Bend
and Fort
down,
Ryan.
yeah.
Yep, so
okay.
you gotta take what they give you as a number and then add about a foot to foot and a half
right.
to get what it's gonna be in Chamberlain. So we tapped out at probably about, like I said, 1372 and a half.
Jeez.
And in 2011, I believe we were at 1375.
Mm-hmm.
So a little less, but you know, and I think the average, the norm for the river is around 1358.
Okay.
Is where they usually see it this time of year.
Yeah.
So quite a bit higher.
So on top of that, and trying to predict South Dakota weather, that's a
yeah. You know, and then we got hit with some of those, you know, that rain that was supposed to, the weather forecasters saying a half inch.
right.
And we end up getting the 3 inches of
Yep.
rain.
Yep.
Those are tough to predict, and that's what makes it hard for the Corps. So
awesome. So then moving forward though, so the water is observably lower.
it's good, it's going the right way.
And the one thing, you know, is this kind of a permanent thing, or are we going to see more flooding?
Well, you know, once again, we keep our fingers crossed.
Right.
Everything we're hearing from the Corps is positive that we're going the right way. Now, there's some other factors out there. The snow melt's still a factor.
Okay.
We could get a bunch more rain, and
right.
everything's saturated right now still. So, depending on how those things go, we hope that we're going the right way. Some of the positives, as you can see, as you said, the water's going down, so you can start to see some of the campground again. And in talking with Greg, the hope is to get the boat dock back in at the marina.
Oh, cool.
So
awesome.
boats can start launching back from there again, and start doing some pumping at the campground to get some of that water out of there.
Right.
And then let the wall that was built do its job again.
Sure.
And start pumping some water out of there. So you're gonna start seeing some positives.
Right.
And we really need that in town, because without the fishermen and the fishing, and it's been a tough spring. Not just for everybody, you know, even the hotels, the restaurants,
mm-hmm.
the Main Street businesses. And then just for the people here that love to get out in the river and take advantage of it.
Right.
It's been tough. So hopefully, knock on wood, we're getting close.
That's right. So awesome. Chad, thanks for your time. Give
Absolutely.
us a quick update, and we'll remain hopefully optimistic, or carefully optimistic, I
That's
should
all
say.
we can do, is carefully optimistic. That's maybe the best way to say it.
Perfect. And are there any resources that people can go to for more information? The Corps of Engineer?
Corps of Engineer, you know, and if you see, you know, the city, all the city employees, and when I say city employees, you know, the Greg Powell's, Jared Kisslers,
Mm-hmm.
Scott Simonson, those guys, Greg does a very good job of keeping them up to date too. So if you see one of them around town, you know, ask them, they'll know what the levels are gonna be, or what's coming up next, or where we're going with stuff. But the Corps of Engineers website is probably the best. It'll give you your daily levels and stuff like that.
Awesome. And again, we'll have that information in the descriptions on Facebook and YouTube, so be sure to check those out. Chad, thanks for your time.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I think if Kevin Durant's healthy the whole entire series, you wouldn't have come in here saying Toronto's going to win. It'd been like, another championship for Golden State. Because, I mean, honestly, so look me in the eye and say, if Kevin Durant plays that whole series, you're still picking Toronto.
Yeah.
You're still picking
I'm
Toronto.
still picking Toronto. I gotta stick. Well, I gotta stick
You
to my
would
guns,
not
man.
have.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
You can't jump ship midway. Or are you saying before the venue?
Before everything started. Let's say before the whole series started, Kevin Durant's healthy and they still have their team together.
No, because of the absolute domination of the Milwaukee Bucks in the last.
So you're all on that.
I was
that
totally on the
convinced you.
momentum train.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
But and we'll never know this too. But I mean, I watched the game last night, and Klay Thompson was going off, and if he doesn't get hurt, I think they have enough to send it to Game 7 because he was playing.
Lights out.
Yeah,
Came down to
hit
what,
30
1 point?
before. He went up about 9 minutes. Yeah, it came down to 4, like 110.
Yeah.
9 minutes. You'd think Klay Thompson's being in there, and that would help a little bit. I mean, what the hell you gotta do then? Just double Curry and say the rest of these guys could shoot. They ain't gonna be.
Curry about did it again though with that.
Yeah, that
last
was a
second
decent
three.
play.
Yeah.
That was a decent play. Although when he threw it, I was like, he's gonna throw it out of bounds like the other side. He chucked it so hard. And then had Curry come around. It was a good play. It was a good draw.
Oh no, not that. But when it was it was like 111 to 110. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
just had that deep three.
Yeah.
That was close. 'Cause
Yes.
he did that in game 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to do a lot by himself, and it was kind of difficult.
Can't have it.
But that's what I'm saying is like Kevin Durant takes a little bit of the heat off him too.
It was a week of firsts, so you got the Blues winning.
Yeah.
Yep. Toronto Raptors won. If Ricky Fowler finally wins his first major.
Yes, that was a good one. Yeah, I guess you're right. A week of first. I mean, I wasn't mad that Toronto won. I just I always want to be right because I called.
Because who doesn't like being right?
I like being right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was exciting, and it's tough to see that maybe. I think that might be the end of that team.
You think so? Well, they just have a brand new arena too.
No, I mean like, if you're right, what if Kevin Durant leaves and that shakes up that whole team, and Klay Thompson now tore his ACL. So how that takes a while to come back.
No, so Toronto won though, so KD's gonna go there next. That's the joke.
It's a good one.
Did you watch Peyton Manning roast him at the ESPYs?
No,
He made that same joke, yeah, basically.
I bet Kevin Durant didn't like that too much.
He wasn't too happy.
Kevin Durant, he's always
Poor
he's
guy
kind
in
of
the punching
baby,
bag.
though. But he's a baby. He takes things too personal. The last week of kind of the same things for summer rec here. Some floor hockey again and ping pong.
What's on the menu?
For cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're going to do. Oh man, I told you this last week too, but I think what we're gonna do is hamburgers this week.
Oh, cool.
So
All right.
we're gonna have a grill here and have the kids actually kind of mix the meat, and pound it, and we put it into patties, and we'll have them actually.
Oh, they gotta make their own patty and everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want it to be kind of an interactive cooking.
Right, you can't just throw a frozen thing on there.
Right, yeah, and so we'll have them like form the patty, maybe cut out, some of the vegetables. The trick is getting the kids to eat the food after they make it sometimes. Because sometimes they don't want to eat it. Like, it's not that they don't like it, but they're just like, they don't maybe they take a bite. You know how kids are.
Oh, yeah.
A bite and they'll eat the whole thing, and then you have all these leftovers. But hamburgers, and then we were thinking like some sort of a smoothie.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, would be kind of a fun deal for them.
Yep.
So that's on the docket for cooking. We still have our baseball and softball. Tuesday, Thursday. So this is the last week of like this flag football, baseball, floor hockey, and then next week we'll start some different activities that will go a couple weeks into July. And next, this upcoming week too, we have Super Soaker Wars. We kind of went over that last, but we also have fishing. Hopefully we can do some fishing. I don't know. where, but I think it would kind of be nice to, I don't know. Usually we go off of the,
Oh, the pier?
yeah.
A little
So
tough?
I don't know if we're gonna have to cancel it or we can find a different spot where they can go fishing.
Well, that's tough because you can pretty much cast, but there's rocks all over. So
Exactly, and and now we're talking about younger kids.
yeah,
here.
that'd
So,
be frustrating.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice to have that pier area, so that's kind of the area where they fish. But we'll see. Again, we have our I-90 baseball group's going. Let's see, we got them playing at Woonsocket. Will be at home on Tuesday, so they'll be coming here. So we'll Platte. So we'll have 2 games going on the 18th next week, Tuesday up top. So if anyone wants to come watch some baseball, games start at 5. And then actually the big one is Thursday, where the Chamberlain White play the Chamberlain Red teams.
Ooh,
so
there
the
you go.
kids always circle that date because they're playing their friends,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of a fun.
Where's that one gonna be at?
That's here at home too. So
Which field though?
it will probably be on the first field A, which is the south field.
South field.
So we have a south field and a north field. We have them labeled field A.
Oh, at Explorers
Field B.
Complex.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that's where we play all our games. At Explorers Complex
Okay.
is the big. That's the big. Well, it's a nice complex. We like to play our games there. So, so field A is the south field and B is the north field. So, if people go up there the 18th, they'll see both field A and field B rocking, and it gets a lot of fun up there. When you get a lot of people up there, and that parking lot gets pretty full. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool deal.
Intercity rivalry. Like it.
Yeah, and so the kids kind of circle that date. That's kind of a fun one. And then we have softball games going on too. I believe we are away on Monday the 17th. We're away against Gregory, and then our softball teams on Wednesday will be home against Clearfield. We'll have all the games rocking on. The U8 will play, U10, U12, U14, U16. So if you want to catch some softball, on Wednesday you can go up to the Explorers Complex and check those games out. Those games start at 6.
Okay.
So the baseball games start at 5, softball starts at 6.
Thanks for joining us again for the Monday News Brief. I'm your host, Nate Iverson, and this has been CDT TV, a part of the Central Dakota Times. We'd love to have you join our online community if you haven't already by subscribing to our YouTube channel and becoming a Facebook fan for more updates from the Central Dakota Times. As always, be sure to pick up your copy of the Central Dakota Times newspaper every Wednesday morning wherever newspapers are sold, or become a subscriber. Again, I'm Nate Iverson. We'll see you next week.